Welcome to Chess Thoughts, where we explore ideas that challenge the way we think and live. Today, we're diving into a book that has transformed the way millions of people view life, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. This book is more than just words on a page. It's an invitation. An invitation to step out of the constant noise in our minds and into something deeper, presence. Tolle argues that most of our suffering comes from being trapped in time, either dwelling on the past or anxiously anticipating the future. But what if the key to peace, clarity, and even happiness is not somewhere out there in the future, but right here in this very moment? Let's explore the key ideas of the power of now and see what it has to teach us. Remember that you can get the book through the video description. Tolle begins with a bold statement. Our minds are our biggest obstacles to peace. Sounds strange, right? After all, we rely on our minds to solve problems, make decisions, and navigate life. But he points out that most of the time, our thoughts are not helpful. They're compulsive, repetitive, and often negative. Think about it. How often do you catch yourself replaying past regrets or worrying about things that haven't even happened yet? Tolle calls this the psychological time trap, where our minds are constantly pulling us away from the present moment. He suggests that suffering isn't caused by external circumstances, but by our resistance to what is. So how we break free? That brings us to the core of the book. Tolle's main message is simple but profound. The present moment is all we ever truly have. The past, it's a collection of memories. The future, it only exists in our imagination. The only place where life is actually happening is now. Yet, most of us live anywhere but the now. We're constantly waiting for something, waiting for the weekend, waiting for a promotion, waiting to be happy. But Tolle asks, what if nothing is missing from this moment? What if true peace comes from simply being here, fully engaged in whatever is in front of us? One way to practice this is through mindfulness, paying attention to your breath, your body, the sensations around you. Even in everyday activities like drinking coffee or walking, you can bring your focus to the present, experiencing life as it unfolds instead of rushing through it on autopilot. One of the biggest breakthroughs in the power of now is the idea that we are not our thoughts. Tolle describes how most people live completely identified with their minds, believing every thought, every fear, every worry as if it were absolute truth. But if you step back and observe your thoughts instead of being controlled by them, something amazing happens. You realize that you are the awareness behind those thoughts. Think of it this way. When you say, I feel anxious, who is the I that's noticing the anxiety? That awareness, that quiet observer, is your true self. The thoughts? They're just passing clouds in the sky. They come and go, but they are not you. This shift in perspective is incredibly freeing. You don't have to be a slave to your mental chatter. You can watch your thoughts come and go, without attaching yourself to them. Tolle introduces the concept of the ego, the false sense of self we build from our thoughts, memories, and social conditioning. The ego thrives on conflict, comparison, and attachment to identity. It constantly seeks validation, worries about how it is perceived, and fears anything that threatens its sense of importance. This is why people feel restless even after achieving success. Why? Because the ego is never satisfied. It always wants more. But Tolle reminds us that we don't have to be trapped in this cycle. When we let go of ego-driven concerns about status, labels, and the need to always be right, we create space for something deeper, peace. The question is, who are you when you drop the labels? Who are you when you stop identifying with your job, your possessions, even your thoughts? That's where real freedom lies. Another powerful idea in the book is the practice of surrender, not as weakness, but as a radical acceptance of what is. Often, we resist life. We resist circumstances, emotions, even ourselves. We think, things should be different, I should be further ahead, this shouldn't be happening. But Tolle teaches that resistance creates suffering. When we stop resisting and accept the moment as it is, we find peace. Not because the situation has changed, but because our relationship to it has changed. Surrender doesn't mean passivity. It means making peace with the present while still taking conscious action when necessary. So, how do we bring the power of now into daily life? Number 1, practice awareness. Regularly pause and notice your thoughts. Ask yourself, am I present or am I lost in past/future thinking? Number 2, use the body as an anchor. When your mind is racing, shift your focus to the breath, the sensation of your feet on the ground, or the sound around you. Number 3, let go of time-based thinking. Instead of always striving for the next thing, focus on what is here now. Enjoy the journey rather than obsessing over the destination. Number 4, observe, don't react. When challenges arise, instead of immediately reacting, take a breath. Observe the situation with curiosity rather than resistance. The Power of Now is more than just a self-help book. It's an invitation to experience life differently, to step out of the endless noise of the mind and into a state of presence, to realize that happiness isn't something we chase in the future, but something we can access right now. Tolle's message is simple, yet it takes practice. But even a small shift, being present for just a few moments each day, can make a profound difference. So as you go about your day, I invite you to take a moment. Breathe. Notice. Let go of time for just a second and ask yourself, what if this moment is enough? Thank you for joining me on this exploration of the power of now. If this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who might need to hear it. And if you'd like to dive deeper, pick up the book and experience its wisdom firsthand. Until next time, stay present, stay mindful, and as always, keep questioning the way you live.